everyone, welcome to Watch Me Fly. In this video I'm going to walk through the basics of the competition center and also what to do when you're set up with your first event and to familiarize you with some of the tools within the competition center. So here I am on the homepage of Watch Me Fly, and I'm going to log in as a user, and I'm going to log in as Balloony McBalloonface, who is the organizer for the Canoundra International Balloon Fiesta. So when we come to the website here, we can see that the event, the 22 Canoundra International Balloon Challenge, is already set up, and that will be set up by the Watch Me Fly team based on the information that you've provided in the form on the Balloon Live website. Okay, so first thing you'll note when you've logged in is you now have access to the competition center in the left-hand menu. If you don't, please contact us at Watch Me Fly and we'll make sure that you do have access. So if I go into the competition center, you're now in the administration area where you can manage all the aspects of your event. In this case, I've got access to multiple events, but I'm going to go into the Canoundra International Balloon Challenge. So if I click on that, I am then landing on the dashboard for this event. So you'll see that I've got all sorts of menu items and all the details that are associated with the balloon challenge. So a bit of familiarization here. Firstly, if you want to ever switch competitions, if you're managing multiple competitions, you can always go to the competition list. There is also a link here to the Learning Center, and the Learning Center has lots of information, help files, and training videos for how to use some of these tools. Then across the top here, you've got the tools for you to manage the flights and the tasks, and we're going to walk through that in a separate video. The electronic notice board, the pilot management tools, the officials management tools, the target team management tools, as well as, because this one is using the Watch Me Fly scoring, we have the ability to manage the PZs, the goal management, and also the points of interest for the map that displays on the website. And because this is a Balloon Live event, we also have the ability to see the Balloon Live settings. And again, we'll come back through those. A couple of other things you have in here. You also have links to some of the settings that we're going to look at shortly, as well as an audit log where if you want to see who's made what changes, you're able to do that in there. Okay, so now that we're on the dashboard for this event, the first thing we want to do, because this is a brand new event, is have a look at what we can see. So firstly, there are no flights set up yet, which makes sense. On the right-hand side, we can get a bit of a snapshot on some of the things that have been set up. Again, there's not much set up because it's a new event. But here we're also able to go to the competition setup checklist. And again, if we click on that, that will take us into the Learning Center. And here there's some details about things that you should just go through and double check have been set up all right. So we've set up the event based on the information you've provided, but we want to make sure that you've checked that and everything's set up the way you wish. And we're going to walk through those things now. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is look at the competition settings. So on the left-hand side here, we have the link to competition settings. And when we go in here, we're given a form that has all the different details and settings that we're able to manage. So if we walk through this, firstly, we've got the event name, so you're able to change that. We also have the URL identifier. This is what is used in the URL or the link to this competition. I recommend you don't change this. So leave this one, but pretty much everything else you can change. Country and location, that all makes obvious sense, and that will probably not change. You can manage the dates, so you can come in here and change the dates if you wish. These are the dates that are just purely displayed on the website. It doesn't really matter if you're flying practice flights before the dates or after. It's really just the dates that are shown on the website. The latitude and longitude, this is used by the map on the event details page, and will sort of center where the map is located. So if we come back to the details page, so this is what the public can see on the website. We have a map that appears and that longitude and latitude is showing where the center of that map is. You can change the default zoom, so maybe you wanted it a little bit more zoomed in. So if we change that to 13 and update it, when we come back to this page and reload the page, you'll see we're a little bit more zoomed in. This short description is used on the event listing pages. So if we jump back into the website and come into one of the listing pages, so for example, previous competitions, that detail is what appears in the listing here. So it only needs to be 1 or 2 sentences. However, what we have here is then we've got the detailed description where you can add a lot more text. So you may want to put in a paragraph or add some extra text. You can change the color of things. You've got a lot of control over the formatting of this particular content. So once you save that, again, if we come back into the event that we were looking at, you can see that formatting is reflected and you can have a lot of content here in that particular location. Okay, moving down the list here, the images. So we have 2 images that you can upload. So firstly, there's the event image. So the event image is the one that you normally will provide us and we will put it into the system for you, but you can always change it. And that event image is the one, again, that is used either on the home page or on the listing pages. So here, this image above the name, as well as when you're looking at the listing pages, that is the image there. Now you also have the option now to upload a cover image. So by default, if you do not upload one, what will happen is the cover image here on your details page will just use that default image. But sometimes it doesn't look quite right and you want to make it look a bit nicer. So what you can do is you can actually come in here and upload a cover image, and we want that to be these dimensions here, so 1500 pixels by 572 pixels. When you upload that, we can now come back in here and we'll see that that's changed the image there, but that image for the normal listings won't have changed. Okay. This is a new feature here, the event title text. You normally won't change this, but what happens is if you look at the title here, it is white text. So that looks good if the image is quite dark, but sometimes you might have an image that's very white, or you might just have a logo that has white text. You're able to change that color. So if I was to change that to black and update and come back into this page, it will change the text to black. Most of the time we won't need to do that, and as you can see there, it doesn't look that good. So we're going to change that back to white. Okay, so moving further down, the Balloon Live app settings here, we can actually upload a splash image that will be appearing on the Balloon Live app. This is a new feature that's not quite available yet, but will be coming in a future version of the Balloon Live app. But then here we can add all your contact details. These will all be displayed on the website. So if you don't want your phone number showing up on the website, don't put it in there. But you need to at least have a website or an email or a phone number displayed. Then you've got some details about the competition. So these are things that will be displayed. In this case, it's not a World Championships or a National Championships. It's not sanctioned by the FAI. We're using loggers and markers. Actually, we do know who the director is, so we're going to change this to be Adam Barrow. And that's it. That's all the details that we want to change for the event. If you're not sure what any of the fields mean, again, in the Learning Center, if you come under Competition Center, under Competition Management, Competition Settings, there's a whole lot of information in here that explain what each of those fields are and what they're used for. So you can always refer back to that. Okay. Now for events that are using the WatchMeFly scoring, there is also a scoring settings. This will only be visible if we've activated scoring for you. and you'll know it's been activated because you can see this green icon here. But in the scoring settings, we can come in here, and this is where you can manage things such as the format that the scoring system is going to use, your default scoring method, the separation altitude. So if you're doing 2D, 3D scoring, I'm going to make that 2,000 feet as the separation altitude, and it's above mean sea level. And then pretty much all the other preferences are self-explanatory. There'll be another video that's available to show you how you can configure the map. So you need to add longitude and latitudes of each of the corners. This is for when you're doing measurements using your maps and using the scoring system. But we'll address that in a separate video. Okay. So once you've checked that all your settings are correct there's a few other things that you want to go through. And again, there'll be separate videos for most of these functions. So we've got the Balloon Live settings here. What you just want to do is come through and just check that these have been set up correctly. Now, only the Balloon Live team and the WatchMeFly team are able to change these settings. So if you see something's not correct, please let us know. But you can see the number of tokens that have been made available, the intervals, the settings. Pretty much most of this is default. Because we're using the Balloon Live sensors, we've got that set up. So please just double check that those have been set up correctly. Okay, for most of the other tabs across the top here, we've already got videos that have been recorded as part of other training courses. So make sure you check those out. They'll be available in the Learning Center for you. But there's a couple of things that you do just want to be aware of. So when you're first coming in to set up your event, you just want to work your way through some of these areas. So firstly, you want to come in and add your pilots to the pilot list. And I'll make sure that you've got access to the videos to learn how to do that. Your officials, you want to make sure that anybody you want to have access to the competition center and to the different functionality, you're able to manage those here in the official management tools. So you can come in, add an official. So we might say that we want Vincent Vega from Australia to be we'll make him a chief scorer, and you can give them access to the various tools. So going down the list here, we have Competition Center access. So that allows them to log into this event within the Competition Center. Flight and task management, this allows them to add and edit and modify the flights and the tasks. Electronic notice board allows them to post and manage the notice board posts. Pilot management, they can add, remove, and manage all the pilot functionality. Officials management gives them the power to actually access this form and create and modify permissions for officials. So make sure you only give that to the people that you really want to have that ability. Map and PZ management, that gives them the access to these tools at the top here. And then when it comes to scoring, you're able to give them access to debriefing tools, scoring tools, and if they are the director, you want to give them the ability to publish results. This is all covered in the scoring course. So within the Learning Center, there is a course that you can do, which is the Certified Scoring course, and those functions are covered in that course. Competition settings, that's access to the tools to change all those details that we just looked at. And then Balloon Live gives them the ability to not only see the Balloon Live settings, but then when you're looking at things like flights and pilots, if they have access to Balloon Live, they'll be able to then access any of the Balloon Live data. So they'll be able to see tracks, they'll be able to manage and download IGC files. That Balloon Live permission gives them that access. Okay, so they're the main things that you just want to go through and check. As I mentioned before, the other functions that we have here, there are other videos and documentation that cover those. But that's really the main things that you want to do from a competition center point of view, and the places that you can check and modify things. There's another video that will walk through exactly how to set up flights and how to set up tasks, and pretty much just the functions that a director would need to do on the day during the event for each of the flights. So thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this video.